Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. I love all things makeup, beauty and skincare, so I have a tendency to kind of collect makeup, and I am also, gotta say this right now, I am an affiliate with Natasha Denona, so always keep those things in mind. So I have collected Natasha for a really long time, and I did get my hands on the Yucca palette. This video is not a first impressions at all. I've actually had this palette for quite some time. This was essentially a request. I know, how strange, sometimes I do them. And I really wanted to put the palette through its paces so that you guys could see what it was like. If you don't know, it's a very, very green toned grungy palette. And if you don't know me, oh my goodness, just know that this is my kind of colour story. That's part of why I have it. This is essentially following on from Swatching Sundays video, where I swatched the Yucca palette across lots of different lights, including natural lights, and I wanted to do a tutorial to let you know what it is that I think of this palette. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please keep on watching. My skin is wonderfully spotty at the moment, so let's not heed that. But we do have this palette here, and the first thing that I'm doing is just taking a fluffy brush. This one is a Beauty Bay one, and I'm going into the shade Camus Camus. Now, of course, they have an eyeliner that happens to match this. I don't know whether or not I'll use that, we'll see. Now, I'm very naughty because this is not a first impressions video. I've actually had this for a while now. Surprise, surprise, I mean, it's a green palette. Of course I was going to have it, and I've played with it quite a bit, but I realised I hadn't done a video, and I'd had a few people kind of saying they wanted to see videos on this. So that's what tonight is about, because it's 10 o'clock at night. I've had a long day, but I was like, screw it, let's sit down and play with makeup. Now you see you get a lot of pigmentation with this, even though it's like the lightest colour in the palette, and I feel like a shade of green like this, it's very difficult to generally kind of manufacture or get it to go right. And generally I find with higher end brands, whatever it is, that the more expensive you get, it's like the less pigment you get. But this is not the case here. Like, I'm getting a nice amount of pigment, but what's rather important here is the blendability. This blends with all of the other shadows. Well, I mean, you'll see in a little bit, but it blends frighteningly well. It's really, really nice. So I'm filming at this quite late at night because we were out today. This weekend was our anniversary weekend, and I meant to kind of do a video on this earlier, and I did promise it on my Swatching Sundays video because it's a Sunday as I'm filming this, and I'm like, God damn you, Pastor Teresa, making promises. But I was like, okay, you've made a promise, you gotta stick to it. So this is what we're going with. Although I did find myself in a little bit of a TikTok rush before sitting down to film, because I was like, oh, let's just keep watching TikTok. And I don't know about you, but like my feed, and I don't know why it keeps giving me this, it's all about Jada Pinkett Smith. And I'm like, I keep scrolling past the videos. I'm not engaging with them, but I'm getting them all the time. And it's just like, whoa, what is going on here? Very, very strange. So you can see, again, hopefully, such good pigmentation. Now, again, I'm putting it on with a very fluffy brush, so obviously that isn't going to like pack on colour, it's going to disperse it, but I like to kind of put it on and then disperse as well, and I'm lazy, so this is the way that I do it. I'm hoping that you can see how fabulously vibrant that green is. Beautiful. The next thing I'm doing then is taking this Morphe M562, and I'm going into the shade Tipu or Tipu, who knows. And the palette does a great job of kind of building gradients of green, but more particularly like grungy greens, which, oh, that's just where my little heart goes. And again, you can see just how well this is blending. Like, it just meshes with the other greens so well. Now obviously they're the same color story, so obviously that makes it so much easier to mesh. That being said though, I still feel like this is just like blending crazy easily, and it makes me feel so much better about ordering the Xenon palette. Did anyone else order that? I got so excited. They had it on as like early access for members, and I was like, you will be mine. Like, did I need it? Absolutely not. But I mean, I passed the point of need with eyeshadow palettes a long time ago. But look at that lovely grunginess. It's very swampy. I'm just kind of bringing it up there. This is a very, very lazy look, but I'm kind of here for it. I really wanted to show you just how well everything blends here. It's very, very seamless. So you can see here that it's given that really nice little bit of dimension here. But because it has all of these different shades of green in the palette and all these different depths, it's so easy to do that. The next thing I'm doing then is just taking this blank canvas E10. It is love, it is life. And I'm going into the shade Acacia, or I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, Acacia, and just bringing that one further down, kind of more into the socket than the previous shade. And that's just to build that extra level of depth and to just point out just how hooded my eyelids are. It's like the bristles really get on in there, it's nuts. But you can see this blends very, very well. And again, you'd kind of assume that. I mean, they're the same color story, but I love this. It's a green palette and the blendability, the fact that everything works together so well. Oh, God damn it, Natasha. I mean, to be fair, I don't want her to come out with like a dud because I get all of her stuff and I'd hate to have a dud, but you know, I'm a complex woman. The things that I say don't really make sense. It's best not to kind of question it too much. I was wondering though, has anyone else kind of fallen down that weird TikTok bit of the Jada Pinkett Smith? Because I have not done so voluntarily. I keep swiping past those videos and they keep coming up and I'm like, for a woman that I've never met, like, she's really gotten under my skin. Like, she quite irks me. She's so under my skin. She's practically an internal organ. But I think it's because I'm just seeing so many traits of like narcissism. I can't diagnose. I'm not a diagnostician, but there's a lot of narcissistic personality disorder that I'm seeing, and historically I found that like whatever it is, autistics, we do not get on well with narcissistic personality disorder peeps. Not that many people get on well with narcissistic personality disorder, but I think because we kind of pick up on the patterns a bit quicker, it's extra like blech to us. I'm now taking the Suva 410 and I'm going into the shade Flax. And just as an FYI, I did tap off a little bit of excess. I'm just kind of blending this around here. But the whole thing with Jada Pinkett Smith kind of made me think like, you know, this woman irks me. I've never met her. She's never met me. She doesn't even know that this random woman in Ireland is just sitting there kind of going, oh my God. And I'm sure I definitely get under people's skin. I know I definitely do. It's not deliberate, but like it happens. And it just made me kind of think, like, I wonder how many of us kind of have managed to do that, of kind of just annoying people and not really realizing it. Maybe it's just something that happens more regularly for me, but it's just something that occurred to me that like I'm sure I effortlessly bother people by existing. But you can see that shade there gives you that really nice level of depth. Oh, I just love that I don't have to work hard with this palette, which is kind of perfect because it's late at night and I can't be bothered. I'm lazy. But look at that level of depth. Like, yes, there's no black in this palette, which I think is the one thing that I'd be like, bleh, about. But do you know what? I don't think it's actually needed. Not with this. Oh, very, very upsetting as to how nice this is. I'm now taking a Zoeva 225, and here's the bit that you're going to be shocked at. I went into the shade Willow, because when I talked about this palette initially, I was like, that shade is kind of throwing me. So I was like, okay, let's really use that. Now I'm tapping off a bit of the excess. And I was like, let's use this and blend it all together and see what it looks like. And I gotta say, look at the way that this meshes with the others. It gives you just this really, really interesting sort of blue tone to it that stops it from being like totally one-dimensional and like monochromatic. And now I kind of get why she did it. So I'm like, God damn it, I guess this is why you are an artiste and I am but a humble makeup lover. But I actually, like, I get it now. Like, I'm just, it's like, has anyone seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and the scene where Mac does his dance and Danny DeVito goes, I get it now. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about this shadow. I didn't think I'd be into it, but I'm like, actually, it makes sense here. Do I still feel they could have had like a deeper, darker, grungier green in there? Yeah, but that's because I would like and want every single green. So I am literally just working that in, doing very little with it, let's be real, just lazy times. But it meshes so well with all of the rest of them. It's kind of nuts. A little bit frustrating, really. You know that friend that you have that, like, they don't have to do a single thing and they're just amazing? This is that shade. It's very annoying. I now have this Morphe M562 and oh my god, this shade, how do I pronounce it? Como Rebe? I am so sorry. I literally don't know how to pronounce it. Should I have looked up the shade names? Probably, but whatever. Anyways, I'm just using this Morphe M562 and I'm just popping that there, and it's, because it's obviously like a very floofy brush, it isn't going to give you a big bang of pigment, but it gives you that lovely little bit of highlight. And it's quite an interesting sort of a one, I think. Anyways, there's like kind of flecks of gold in it. I think it's just so beautiful. So I'm just kind of popping that there, and it kind of accentuates that a little bit further. Then I'm taking this Zoeva 224 that has definitely seen better days. Like, I've managed to display it. That's me being rough with things. And I'm going into the shade Elysian. And I've literally only taken a little bit and I am just bringing it in here just to kind of smoke it in, out, shake it all about. Just because I wanted a little bit of extra dimension in there. Look at me trying to sound like I know things. I don't know anything. I don't know what's happening. And guys, you know how lazy I am. I feel with these shimmers, you're best off getting your gross paws in there. So I'm going into the shade Ray. And I mean, it's just such a beautiful shade anyways. You know I had to put it on. So I'm literally just popping it in with reckless abandon. Absolutely no precision because it's a grungy look, doesn't have to be precise. And just kind of spreading that out. As you can see, I've been very bold, didn't put on any glitter glue primer. I'm literally just letting this speak for itself, which it does very well. Fair play. And then I'm going into the shade Makia, and there's like a little bit of a bluey shift to this. It's really beautiful, but there's also like a yellowiness to it. I don't know how to describe this. It's such an interesting shimmer. I'm just popping that just in the middle where it meets the rest. So it's by no means like a precise look. Absolutely not. I'm just taking a blank canvas E10 now and I'm swishing backwards and forwards here just to make it a little bit more gentle. Now you'll notice some of the shades have kind of fecked off, so don't worry, I can add those back in again. Absolutely no bother on that. It's nothing major, and obviously then we have this really harsh transition, but that's super easy to solve. So all I'm doing is taking that blank canvas E10 and going into the shade Acacia. I mean, I've pronounced that name so many different ways now. I have to statistically have pronounced it correctly at least once, hopefully. So again, just kind of carving that out a little bit more. But you can see it just kind of diverts back to where it had been, which is what I wanted because I'm lazy. And then I'm just taking that Zoeva 225 and just swishing between here because obviously I've lost a little bit of that kind of shade Willow and it's not as kind of pigmented as it had been because I put the shimmer on top of it. That's okay. That's how it was meant to be. That's exactly how you'd expect these shadows to operate. So that's it. It's very, very simple. I'm just going to clean up here and here, and I'll probably use one of the eye pencils just to give you an idea of what they look like. I will tell you, formulation, mwah, spectacular. But I will see you back in a little bit. I kept the whole look super simple because I just kind of liked how easily this all worked together. I mean, no harm in that. I'm going to zoom you in now so you can see the total eye look. And I opted to use the shade Fuchsia as the eyeliner because it kind of popped a little bit more. That's the yellowy shade. I just think it all worked really, really well. Is this like my most amazing look? No, but I reckon if I spent loads and loads of time and thought about how to like shape things out, I could get something very, very nice out of this. Like you can see everything blended really, really well. I loved this. So it comes down to my overall impressions of the palette. As I said before, this is not a first impressions. I've had this for a while, which is kind of better because I can kind of tell you what I found with this over the last 2 or so months that I've had this, and I gotta say, absolutely love it. Actually, I've had this for more than 2 months. Oh, I'm very naughty. I love this palette. It is so, so nice. It blends so well. I actually think this is one of Natasha's strongest palettes. And I'm not just saying that because it's green, but everything works so, so well. Even that shade Willow that I was initially like, why are you in here? It makes sense to me now. I love it. I would give this a 10 out of 10. Like, the big question is, if I lost my palette collection in the morning, which let's hope I never do, would I repurchase this? 100%, 100%. I absolutely love this. I'm a Natasha Denona collector. I love green eyeshadows. So this was like, I guess, made for me in a way. I love this. 10 out of 10. I think it's so, so stunning. Do you necessarily need it? Probably not, my friends, probably not. Look through your existing shades, your existing palettes, see what you think. Are there ones that you can dupe out? I'm not here to try and get you to spend your money, let's be real. But if after watching this, you do find this useful, you would like to get it, just remember that I do have an affiliate code with Natasha Denona. It's just my name, Teresa, and it gives you 15% off, and I do make a commission off of it, so just, again, keep that in mind. But you can see through the video, like it did work really, really well. I can't be bothered to lie to you. It just seems like a huge amount of effort. But my gorgeous friends, that's it. That's the end of the video. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell just because it's polite. And do please share because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, just wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.